Dylan Veilleux, and you are the owner, founder, creator of Tree Free Heat.
Yeah.
So, why don't you tell me a little bit about how you started this business? And
Yeah.
yeah,
Perfect. So our story actually has two kind of like two backstories that got me to this point. So I'll start with the first one. The first one was when I was about 15 years old. My mom was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer.
yikes.
So that totally changed the direction of my life in general. And having to like deal with that in real time at such a young age was really confusing. But there was a very specific moment where she picked me up from baseball. It was kind of towards the end of the season, and she told me that she was diagnosed, and I just had a really surreal moment where I was like, okay, I clearly need to figure out a way to be on my own. There's no way she'll be able to take care of me at the way that she was before. And so this was a moment for me to really, uh, take control of my life and trying to be more independent. And that's kind of when I really learned about being an entrepreneur and creating my own, financial freedom.
Wow.
So I took that really seriously around that time, and I started to create many different businesses that kind of got me to here. All of them were just, rarely ever getting over $2,000 in revenue or profit for that matter. Just things that would allow me to be able to take care of her and take care of myself, which was also a way of taking care of her. So that was like the base and the start of
Okay.
really what got Bangor, Maine. Um, After a year or two, my mom actually landed a job, and at this point, she was cancer free. She landed a job at a place called Thomas College in Waterville, and that
Okay.
allowed me to transfer for free college. Uh,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
and that was a really really big deal for me to be able to do that, because now I didn't have these added stressors of thinking, okay, I need a consistent revenue or a
Sure.
consistent way of having money to pay off these loans in the future. um, I have a much more manageable debt, and so I can really concentrate on trying to do something a lot more risky. And that's what led me to, well, Tree Free Heat.
Okay.
um, I was really interested in learning about the hemp industry that was just emerging by the time I got to college,
Hmm.
in Maine specifically. I was well aware of how hemp used to be used, 100 years ago, and
So
the
you knew
impact.
the history?
Yeah, and the impact that it had back then, and how important it was for just the economy in general. Farmers were even getting paid to grow hemp because it was so useful for them to use it for
Hmm.
rope and clothing at the time. So I was like, well, there's no reason why that's not going to happen again.
Uh huh.
And so that's kind of when I started to take steps.
Hands. And then,
Yeah,
yeah. So tell me about your product. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I'll show it first.
Okay.
So these are our fire starters. This is the packaging. Oddly enough, this packaging is actually a soap box, so it was a really, clever way to be able to add two fire starters into them. And so each package has two fire starters, and this is the fire starter.
Okay.
So as you can see, this is the hemp that's within inside of it. I use an electric wood chipper, um, in which I just take dried out stalks and put them through, and that's really the way that I'm able to get the bard. The bard is like the most useful
Okay.
part of the plant for us. So the ingredients for this is soy wax,
Hmm.
hemp, and then a wick that's dipped in citronella,
And that's it.
and that's it.
Wow.
And so many people say it's akin to a candle, and I would totally agree with them. And it's as easy as using a candle. You simply just light the wick, put it in the middle of wherever you want to have your fire, and then slowly add on to it. It burns for approximately 20 minutes, which is plenty of time for
Yeah.
anyone to be able to do. Yeah.
Um,
The wax is a fantastic catalyst to slow down the burn. And I
okay.
knew that our product was really simple to use when I went camping with a family friend, and they had their 7-year-old daughter who's never made a fire or never really gets to make a fire because she has really protective parents, and they allowed her to use that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the product is $5 for a 2-pack.
Oh,
And
that's
of
cheap.
course, these are the 2-packs. Um, And you can find us at treefreeheat.com. So TREEFREEHEAT.
Okay.
I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, both under the same name, Tree Free Heat, and I'm very responsive. And if you'd like to email me, it's just Dylan, Dylan,
Land.
at, yeah,
Great.
absolutely. So I love working with people. A huge extrovert, so that's another reason why I love doing this stuff. Talking to people is incredibly rejuvenating for me. So we actually recently purchased a decorticator. And a decorticator is a machine that can separate the hemp into the short and long fibers, the bast and the hurd. And we would love to just experiment with people to see how we can be of use. We're stationed out of Waterville, Maine. And so I believe, to the best of our knowledge, and we've been actively trying to see if this is true, we believe that we have the first decorticator in New England. But to back that a little bit,
Mhm.
our decorticator is much smaller. Again, we're a small team.
Mhm.
So it's not the $100,000, $1 million decorticators that are spread out throughout America. This is one that is a lot smaller and kind of is meant to be just one of the many steps to being able to process hemp in New England in the future.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, more importantly, just expand the uses of hemp. I mean, this is obviously a plant I care a lot about, and I would really like to see thrive, especially considering it's really exciting to be in the wild west of a new industry. So any way that we can try and just push that forward, even if it's slow, that's cool with us. I'm young, so I'm in this for the long run.